Hello everyone, it's me, Uli. I am a history nerd and a coin collector and collector of various things. I'm a hoarder, in other words. Um, but this is part 2 of my series where I go through an old coin collection that I've had for a very long time and never searched. If you've missed part 1, where I go through some Indian head cents, check it out on my channel in the link below. Part 2 is a little long, but we go through nickels, we go through memorial cent pennies and flips, and we go through a lot of tubes of wheat cent pennies at the end. So stick around or jump around to your heart's content. This video was a ton of fun to make, and I found a lot of good things, so I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Okay, so I have set out the memorial cents and the wheat cents, and there's some pretty good goodies. As we've kind of already shown, there's that really nice 55. There was a steel cent from 43. There's that 09 and that 20p I found. Other than that, it was just a couple of from the 1950s and a couple from the 40s. And I'm sure you've already noticed with those and with some of these memorial cents, whoever stapled these up must have had Parkinson's or something, or schizophrenia, I don't know, but they went nuts on these staples. I don't know what their deal was. And yes, the steel cent's upside down. That also was bugging me, but that's just my OCD kicking in. There were a lot of really nice BU red memorial cents, which probably will also update my album, as I've never really cared to get nicer memorial cents in the books. So these are also probably all upgrades. These are really nice. 1960 right there. Got some proof ones that I'll just leave in there. I don't really like to put proof ones in my albums, but got some really nice from the 70s and things like that. And you know, they're copper, which is also a plus and a pretty good boom. I really enjoy these. This one though, it's rare for me as a kind of passive collector to find really nice wheat cents like that. So I'm very pleased. I'm happy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through these and try to pick out the best ones, see what I want to fill, and move on from there. Okay, and going through the last little bit of flips, there were a lot of nickels. There was a lot of really nice and attractive modern nickels. There was also some proof ones, which was a nice surprise. These two it says back off center, and I'm not good enough to know. I'm not in the weeds enough, I guess. I mean, I'm gonna hold on to them regardless, but maybe I'll have to do some research and figure out what in the world that's talking about. Then we have some wartime nickels, so that's fun. As we saw earlier, we got some silver. These were made of 40%, I believe. So some silver on the board. And we got some buffalo nickels. Again, these are not placed. I might reflip these because it's kind of annoying. I don't know buffalo nickels well enough to know if these are better dates. They don't seem to be amazing condition either way, but I mean, that is a 29, a 24, and then a 30S, and a 20. So, maybe that one would be pretty good. And then we even have some Barber nickels. I have an 01, an 06, an 02, and an 1891. Again, don't really know too much about grading these. I mean, there's some Liberty there. I know you're supposed to always kind of look for Liberty. For the dimes, all of these were clad modern dimes, but we did have some silver. We have some Mercury 42S and even a Barber dime. 1913, no mint mark, but that's always fun to find some silver. As for the quarters, it was a really attractive, really nice bicentennial. Tried to peek in there to see if it was a silver one, and but that, honestly, altogether, it was really cool. We got some more surprises. I'll have to look and see if these are better dates. I doubt it. Even, you know, if it was $3.25 when whoever this was bought it, and it was probably not much else nowadays. But I'll look up these, see if they're better dates and mints, and maybe more surprises in store. But all in all, I'm extremely happy with all of these. Going to put them in little plastic sleeves, pages, and put them in a little notebook. Alright, starting with the Buffalo Nickels, here's what I have so far in my album. Lots of little holes and gaps, and as I've found these, I've noticed, you can tell with that one right there, that 26S has been nickedated sometime, you know, in the past. That one has some serious damage, that 17S. There's a lot like that. But from the ones that I found, this 1929, while I do, that one is a filler right here for me. It's this 1920. I do have a 1920 in here, though I must say that this one is a lot better, so I'm going to replace it with that. So that's a nice little upgrader. As for the 24 and 30S, I have them, and the ones I have are better. So we'll just keep these in here for now. Other than that, it's always nice to get a little filler, some upgrades. I haven't really done much with my Buffalo Nickels, so let's move on to the Jeffersons. Okay, there weren't very many Jefferson Nickels, only 4. This was actually a 54 Denver, and I have to say, even with the tape obstructing view, mine is definitely better, so I'm going to go ahead and keep that one. This 49S will be able to fill that slot there, so very happy day. This silver 45P will fill this slot right here, so super happy about that. And then this 43 silver nickel, I'm, you know, by no means an expert or anything, but I think mine's a little bit better, so I'll just keep this in here and add it to the poor, sorry excuse of a silver stack that I have. So we got a couple fills, so I'm very happy about that. And to give a rundown of the last flips that are all these Jefferson Nickels that I don't have a book for. So either way, I'm just going to keep them because a lot of them are really nice. And I don't have a book for them. I've never really collected nickels beyond the little book that I have. So it's really good to have like a 70 D&S. There's a 72 that's really nice. 3s, 4s, 5s. There's a couple 91s for some reason. 6s. I've got really nice 69S's there. And it's a 68. And it just kind of keeps going. These are all 70s and 60s. Here's all these proof ones, which I think are really pretty and cool. I love how soft the texture of proof coins look. Still have to look up whatever in the world's up with that. These off-center ones, not entirely certain what that's about, but I'll put them in my little notebook, and I'll have them for whenever I do get a cool little book and be able to fill all the slots. Alright, I have my first of the 3 penny books out, and I do have it pretty good. This is the only book where I'm actually missing slots. Of course, I'm missing some of the big ones, you know. So I have a 20p, but I'm gonna say that the one I just found is well, not way better, but it's definitely better than the one that I have in there. So that's always fun. Another upgrade there. And the 1909 that I have, it's pretty slicked, and there's some good detail on this guy. So another upgrade, I'm gonna say. So that's awesome. Ever further in getting a better selection of coins. Alright, and here we are with book 2. And as I suspected, all of these really nice BU 60, 67, 70 Denver, 74, and 73 Denver all will upgrade these. As I said, I've never really been too conscious or well-meaning in upgrading some of these. Believe it or not, this 68 Denver is pretty close to the one I have in there. So I'll just keep it. But all of these are going to upgrade pretty much this side of the page. I'm sure I have many pennies that can go in here that will make this look way better. Because right now it doesn't look all that great. But hooray, more stuff to do. Oh, and I totally forgot. Yeah, that 1955 San Francisco there is definitely gonna upgrade that one. Though the one I have is really, really nice. So I'll flip that one up too. I'll keep it. It's got some great detail to it. But you can't beat that. Look at that thing. And for the final book, looking at this, I'm almost ashamed of myself. Some of these look absolutely horrible, and they have no right looking as bad as they do. Look at that 2005 Denver. Ooh, they look so bad. Which is nice because this 78 Philly, 77, 76, and 75 Denver, and 75 will all upgrade. Oh goodness, this is rough to look at. I kind of just, got the date and then just kind of didn't do anything else at all. It's pretty rough. I'm surprised though that I have all of these varieties here. Some of them don't look too bad. But, I'm even missing that. I mean, come on. It's been years now. Where the heck? It's fine. It's whatever. It's okay. I've got a lot of work to do. And, now I have the opportunity. And it'll be fun. I just wanted to bring us back in for something that's just funny that I discovered as I was preparing to put the rest of the flips that I don't need for my books or anything into these extra pages I have. I noticed that I have random stuff just randomly in different places. There's some ancients from Rome. There's an old that's a silver bar that I bought at an auction a little while ago in a Canadian dollar holder. Moving out, I've got another Morgan just randomly next to some extra nickels I had, and I was like, wow, this is really, really bad, and it just kept getting worse. There's a peace dollar and a penny next to Jefferson's. I have so much work to organizing these. Shameful. Alright, and now it's time for the main event, and what will definitely take me a terrible amount of time. We're going to penny roll hunt all of these If I find anything good, I'll bring you in with a zoomed in camera. Let's see how we do. All right, I've got my mat set up. I've got the tubes to my side. We're going to go through them, and if I find anything that's crazy or might be another hole filler for my books, I will bring you in and show it off. All right, first tube is done. Just wanted to bring you into some of the major finds. Well, major, but good find. So we got a nice red, some red on the 55 there. Pretty attractive coin. Probably will be an upgrader, who knows. Found a really beautiful 57. Great looking coin there. If I can get it into focus for you. Definitely going to set that one aside. And then the last nice wheat cent that we found was this 45 here that had a little bit of coloring to it. Lots of 1940s, some 1950s. That's got some toning on it right there too. Look at that. Other than that, first tube done and a couple set aside. And gonna keep going strong. Just bringing this in for a quick little interesting thing I found with this roll. If probably you may have already noticed, but as I give a cursory glance before I open each one, and I noticed that this one right here is like super thin, and I'm wondering if it's not a penny. So I figured I'd open it up with you. Kind of just see if we can find the one that's right here. What is this? Well, it's a penny. Wheat cent, maybe? Yeah. Why is it so thin? What year is it? It's only a 1954. It seems like I would imagine that it would have been shaved down, but it's got like some detail to it. I don't understand. Why is it so thin? I put it next to a regular one. What is going on? Like, it's half the size. With that much, with it being that thin, I'd imagine it would be like a planchet. But it has detail. I'm so confused. It doesn't look like it's been shaved or anything. I'm not sure. I've never seen or heard anything about this. I'll have to do some research. I wonder if it's fake or something. I don't know. Anyway. Right, just finished one of the rolls, and I had another 1909 find. Checked it. It has the VDB, as you can see at the very bottom there. And this one has really great details. I know earlier I just put an upgrader in my book, but honestly, this one probably will upgrade that one. So I'll set this one aside and we'll see how it holds up at the end. Same roll, and I found another one. Look at that. And it's also a VDB. I'll take that every day. Also great shape. That's awesome. Hunted a few rolls, and I just came across this 1948, and I don't really know varieties really well, and can't really see very good on this camera, but I don't know if that 8 has any doubling or what. All the other letters look fine. Nothing else looks out of place. It's probably just damage. I'm just gonna say it's damage. This is probably the find of the entire hunt. That is a 1910S, and this is in great shape. Great hairline detail, strong strike, decent detail on the lapel. Oh, got some gunk there on the back. But there's good striations within the wheat ears. This is a decent coin. And I immediately checked my book. I don't have this. So it'll fill a hole, and that, yeah. I'm very pleased with that. Look at that. That is awesome. This just made the whole thing, like, it was already worth it. I've already had plenty of great finds, but that just makes me happy. The gifts keep on giving. Found another 1909 VDB. Again in decent shape. Came across this 1953 Denver. Again, I want to call it damage, but something about that 3 seems weird. I don't know. I'll look around. I'll set it aside. I'll look around. Nothing else in the coin looks off, so it's just that 53 just seems weird to me. I don't know. So in this hunt, I've come across a lot of 1955s, and there's of course the double die that even I know about it, and you can tell from the naked eye if you have it or not. But there's something called the poor man's die. It's not worth anything, but look at that. You can definitely tell that I have one. You know, it's not worth anything, but it's always cool to see one. And that's a pretty strong one too. That 5 is definitely doubled. I'll set it aside mainly because, you know, it's always cool to find it. You know what I mean? Just kind of checking everything else. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Found a poor man's die. Okay. If ever there was a 1909 VDB that was gonna go into the book, holy cow. Would you look at that? That is insane. My hands are shaking. I can barely hold it. Probably should be holding it like this one. My goodness, it's got color to it. That is so awesome. Oh, and it looks great. Look at that lapel. Look at that hairline detail. Oh, look at that strike. It's a nice deep strike. Oh, yeah. This is why girls don't talk to me. This is what I get excited about. All right, we are done with the sort. We have tons of great goodies, starting here with the 4 1909 all VDBs that we found. That 1910S that is just stunning. I found a 1913 Philly with some color on it. You'll forgive me, I totally forgot to bring you in on that find. Looks absolutely great. Found a 1919. Even though there's some damage on this, I want to say it's a 1927. I compared it with a 37 that I have, and I think it's 27. We've got all the strange kind of problem coins, you could say, or coins that I want to look at further. A super thin one. There's the poor man's that I set aside. And then the 2 that I'm going to look up with that 3 and that 8. Found a couple of 1960s. They're the only memorial cents that I found, so I threw them off to the side. For the 1930s, got a few 36s. Sorry. Oh no. Look at that. Boop. Everyone makes mistakes. So we got some 35s, 36s, 7s, 8s, and 9s, all Phillies. For the 1940s, we've got a large stack of 40 Ps, and then we've got 40 Denver. We got 41, 41 Denver, 42, 40 Denver. One steel cent. It's too corroded for me to really get what in the world it is. I filled an entire tube and a half, you could say, of 44 Phillies, 45s, and 46s. 46s, I filled 2 whole tubes of Phillies. And then under there we have the Denvers, the San Franciscos for all 3 of those dates. Then we have the rest of the 40s there. For the 1950s, we got 50s, Phillies, Denvers, and San Franciscos. Kind of bring you up here because it was the Denvers that made me fill them up into the back into the tubes for the 1950s. And I got a pretty solid run all the way up to 1959 right there at the end. But one thing that I made sure to do, and they're not organized by date, they're more of just whenever I found one that was really, really nice, or even had a tiny bit of color, even if it was a little bit of color, I made sure to set it aside, because you saw my books. A lot of these, if not all of them, will be able to fill some holes, and a lot of them are from the 50s, 56s, and 57s, though there was a couple of really nice ones from the 40s in here as well, a little more rare. There's one right there. It's a really nice 46. Either way, I'll go through, pick out the best ones, put them in the book, make them really nice, and then I'll keep these separated into a nice tube that I have set aside. And I don't know if I'll ever flip them or not, but they'll be nice and separated. All in all, this has been an amazing hunt. I have found coins that I had beyond my expectations. All the way from the Indian head cents to the silver to the pennies. I've seen it all from this box that I've had in my closet for a while. This has been so much fun. Thank you for being here. And if you've watched to the end of this video, you are legally obligated to subscribe, or else I will burn my house down. One last thing before I go. Thank you again so much for sticking around to the end of this video. Please consider liking and subscribing. And this video and this coin hunt was so fun to make, and it ignited the interest of the historian in me to look into the history of these coins, look at their designers and the artists behind them, the histories of the mint, and the meaning behind their artistry. So please stay tuned for those videos where I do a deep dive into the lives of these wonderful people, men and women who brought us these coins. So far it's a lot of fun to research, and hopefully it'll be a lot of fun to present, so stay tuned for that.